Ladies and gentlemen, imagine waking up one day and realizing that the only thing standing between you and the life you want is you. Not luck, not talent, not timing, just the choices you make every single day. While most people are busy scrolling, doubting, and dreaming, a few are out there building, quietly, consistently, without permission. The difference? It's not intelligence or opportunity, it's mindset. It's self-leadership. It's action taken when no one's watching. This isn't just another motivational message. It's a call to disrupt your default settings and take full control of your future. Because the person you want to become isn't out of reach. They're waiting on the other side of the habits, discipline, and decisions you make starting now. Too often, people spend their lives waiting for motivation, for the right moment, or for someone to guide them. But what if everything you need to grow into your best self is already within you? You don't need permission, luck, or ideal conditions. What you really need is the right mindset, consistent habits, and the discipline to take action. The truth is, success isn't discovered, it's built. Confidence isn't something you're simply born with, it's something you develop. Discipline isn't a natural gift, it's like a muscle. Something you strengthen through daily effort. The gap between people who reach their full potential and those who stay stuck is simple. Successful individuals choose to build the best version of themselves instead of waiting for life to shape them. If you're done feeling stuck, ready to stop making excuses, and serious about making a change, you're in the right place. Today, I'll walk you through the exact steps to design and step into the best version of yourself, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Stay with me for the next few minutes as we explore powerful principles that can help you unlock your full potential and take charge of your future. Let's start with number 1. Reprogram your mind. Everything you do, every decision, every habit is driven by one core element, your self-identity. Who you believe you are influences what you believe you can do. If you view yourself as lazy, undisciplined, or incapable, your actions will reflect that belief. But if you shift your mindset and see yourself as strong, focused, and capable, everything can change. Your identity acts like background software in your brain. It influences your responses, choices, and perception of what's possible. The good news? Like software, it can be updated. Science shows that the brain is neuroplastic. It can be rewired through new experiences and repeated. In the thoughts you entertain, the words you speak, and the beliefs you reinforce create neural pathways that eventually shape your reality. So the first step in becoming your best self is to define the person you want to be. Because if you don't shape your identity, it will be shaped by your past, by society, or by others' opinions. Stop letting outdated beliefs write your future. Instead, create a personal identity statement that reflects who you aim to become. Instead of saying, I lack discipline, say, I'm becoming more disciplined each day. Don't say, I'm not a morning person. Say, I wake up early because I value my time. The language you use matters. It programs your brain. Repeating empowering affirmations, visualizing your ideal self, and building identity-based habits are all effective tools to rewire your thinking. Picture yourself confident, walking into a room with purpose, speaking clearly, and owning your presence. If your goal is productivity, imagine yourself working with deep focus, finishing tasks efficiently, and enjoying the process. But identity is more than thoughts, it's action. Your brain believes what you consistently do. If you want to view yourself as disciplined, prove it through small daily habits. Wake up 5 minutes earlier, read a page each day, or move your body for a few minutes. These small wins signal to your brain, this is who I am now. Over time, these habits build into lasting transformation. Most people try to change through willpower alone, forcing themselves into new habits. But real lasting change begins by shifting your self-image. Instead of trying to eat healthy, become someone who prioritizes health. Instead of trying to work harder, become a person who values discipline. Once your identity changes, your actions follow naturally. The key to making this stick is repetition. Each morning, remind yourself who you are becoming. Throughout the day, choose actions that align with that identity. The more you repeat this process, the sooner it becomes your reality. Right now, write your new identity statement, a clear vision of the person you're becoming. Read it every morning. Take small actions that align with it. Your mind is the starting point for everything. Rewire it, and your best self will follow. 2, the art of self-leadership. Leadership is often misunderstood. Many think it's only for CEOs, managers, or public figures, but real leadership begins with leading yourself before you ever lead anyone else. The strongest leaders don't give orders, they lead by example. To become your best self, you must first guide yourself with intention, focus, and responsibility. Self-leadership means owning your choices, avoiding blame, and taking charge of your thoughts and habits. Many drift through life hoping someone else will guide them, but no one's coming to save you. Transformation begins the moment you choose to be your own leader. The key difference between people who succeed and those who stay stuck isn't talent or luck. It's self-discipline. Discipline means doing what's necessary even when you don't feel like it. Every time you follow through on a commitment, you build self-trust. But every time you break a promise to yourself, you reinforce the idea that you're unreliable. That's why many struggle. They make goals, don't follow through, and end up believing they can't change. To build self-leadership, you must create non-negotiable standards. Set clear values to guide your actions, even when it's tough. If integrity is your value, live by it, even when no one is watching. If discipline matters to you, stay consistent, especially when motivation fades. The biggest mistake people make is relying solely on willpower. Willpower fades. But identity-based choices and strong systems lead to real transformation. Don't say, I'll try to be disciplined. Say, I am a disciplined person. Instead of battling distractions, design your environment to encourage focus. Another key to self-leadership is emotional control. Life throws challenges your way: stress, criticism, failure. Your success depends on how you handle those moments. Most people react emotionally, letting anger or fear take over. But true leadership means staying aware of your emotions without letting them lead your actions. When you feel overwhelmed, pause, breathe, ask, what would the best version of me do right now? Respond with clarity, not impulse. That's how you gain control of your life. Also, embrace the 80/20 rule. 20% of your actions bring 80% of your results. Most people waste time on distractions, scrolling, binge watching, unproductive conversations. Focus on the few actions that generate real progress. Reading, learning, exercising, or working deeply on meaningful tasks. Top performers don't do more. They focus on what matters most. Self-leadership means setting the right priorities and protecting your time like it's your most valuable resource, because it is. Look at your current habits. If they don't support the future you want, change them. Wake up earlier, move your body, read books that challenge you, surround yourself with people who push you to grow. Your environment influences your behavior more than you realize. Spend time with people who lack drive and you'll absorb their mindset. Surround yourself with driven, growth-oriented individuals and their energy will lift you up. Your circle defines your direction. At the heart of self-leadership is one powerful idea: be your own role model. Imagine watching your life as a movie. Would you admire the character you see? If not, change the script. Stop waiting for motivation. Lead yourself with purpose. When you embody qualities like discipline, confidence, and resilience, you won't need approval. You'll earn your own respect. Starting today, take full responsibility for your growth. Define your values, cut distractions, and commit to high-impact habits. When challenges show up, don't search for an excuse. Find a way forward. Make self-leadership your daily habit. And you won't just improve, you'll become unstoppable. 3. The law of averages, the success formula. Success isn't a mystery. It follows a consistent pattern. The people who reach their goals aren't always the smartest or the most talented. What sets them apart is their understanding and use of the law of averages, a principle that applies across all areas of life: career, fitness, relationships, and personal growth. Success in large part is a numbers game. The more you try, the more chances you create. The more you refine your approach, the more likely you are to succeed. Most people don't fail due to lack of ability. They quit too soon. They try something a few times, face rejection or failure, and assume they're not good enough. But those who persist understand that failure isn't the end, it's part of the process. According to the law of averages, If you do something enough times, a predictable success rate emerges. For example, a beginner in sales might close 1 sale out of 10 attempts. That's a 1 in 10 ratio. Keep going, and they get another sale. Over time, with practice, their ratio improves. This applies to everything, from job applications to social interactions. Your first few tries may not go well, but as long as you keep going, your odds improve. The mistake people make is taking rejection personally. It's not personal, it's math. Failure, rejection, and obstacles are simply part of the numbers game. When you accept this, you stop fearing failure and start using it to improve. Success at its core comes down to volume and consistency. Top performers aren't perfect, they just take more action. They make more attempts, have more conversations, produce more work, and put themselves out there more often. Meanwhile, most people hesitate, overthink, and delay out of fear. Fear of failure, fear of looking silly. But every expert started as a beginner. They made plenty of mistakes before finding success. They didn't wait for perfect timing, they acted. They created opportunities by taking action repeatedly. If you want to increase your chances of success, increase your level of effort. If you're facing rejection 10 times, try 100. If your skills aren't yet delivering results, commit to more practice. The law of averages rewards persistence. Those who stay in the game long enough allow their efforts to compound over time. There's another side to this principle. Failure is predictable, but so is success. When you understand that success follows patterns, you can work more effectively by analyzing your outcomes. Track what works and what doesn't. For example, if you attempt something 10 times and succeed once, examine that success. What made it different? Did you approach the situation with more energy? Did your strategy shift? Did you communicate more clearly? The people who succeed most often aren't just the hardest workers. They're the ones who learn quickly. They treat failures as feedback, make thoughtful adjustments, and improve their odds over time. Growth doesn't come from avoiding mistakes, but from learning something valuable each time and applying it to the next effort. This same principle helps explain why some people seem to attract all the opportunities while others struggle. The truth is, they're simply placing themselves in more situations where opportunities can occur. If someone applies for 10 jobs and gets rejected, it may feel discouraging, but applying for 100 increases the chances of landing one. If an entrepreneur launches one business and it doesn't work, they may feel defeated, but if they start 5 ventures, odds are at least one will find success. The same rule applies in relationships, creativity, and personal development. The more you put yourself out there, the more likely you are to succeed. Many people underestimate the sheer amount of effort required to break past average results. They try something a few times, face obstacles, and give up, often not realizing they were just a few more attempts away from a breakthrough. If you truly believe that every rejection was moving you closer to your goal, would you still let failure stop you? Would you let setbacks define you? Or would you keep pushing, knowing that success is inevitable if you remain consistent? The only true failure is quitting too soon. Everything else is part of the journey. Starting today, shift how you view setbacks, treat them as stepping stones. Track your efforts, study the results, and refine your process. If you want better outcomes, increase your activity. If progress feels slow, double or triple your actions. The law of averages is always at work, and it benefits those who persist. Stop waiting. Stop second guessing. Start increasing your effort. When you stay in the game long enough, success stops being a matter of if and becomes a matter of when. Number 4, designing your environment for success. Your environment shapes you more than you might realize. Every day, the people you interact with, the spaces you spend time in, and the content you consume are either helping you become your best self or pulling you in the opposite direction. Many believe success is only about motivation and discipline, but in truth, your surroundings have a massive influence on your habits, mindset, and growth. If you find yourself struggling with focus, consistency, or productivity, start by examining your environment, not just your willpower. People are often unaware of how much influence their surroundings have. Research shows we tend to mirror the behaviors of those around us. If you spend time with people who lack ambition, complain often, or avoid growth, you'll gradually take on similar traits. But if you're surrounded by focused, driven individuals, their positive habits will start to shape your own. This is known as the 5-person rule. You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So ask yourself, are the people in your life encouraging you to grow or keeping you stagnant? If they're not challenging you to improve, it may be time to reduce their influence and seek out those who support your highest potential. Your physical space also plays a critical role. A cluttered or chaotic environment can lead to a cluttered mind. If your workspace is filled with distractions, focus becomes difficult. If your home encourages comfort over progress, you'll fall into unproductive routine. High performers are intentional about their spaces. They set up their environments so that good habits are easy and bad habits are harder to fall into. For instance, if you want to read more, place books where they're visible and easy to access. If healthy eating is your goal, keep your kitchen stocked with nutritious foods and remove junk food. If productivity is a priority, eliminate distractions and dedicate a workspace that signals it's time to focus. These small adjustments in your surroundings can lead to major behavioral shifts over time. Your digital environment also matters, and today it's just as influential as your physical one. The content you consume daily impacts your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Spending hours on social media, comparing yourself to others, or absorbing negative news can slowly erode your mindset. But if you intentionally curate your digital space, following inspiring accounts, listening to educational podcasts, and engaging with positive communities, you feed your mind with the right inputs. The key is to be intentional with what you allow into your mental space. If you want a mindset geared for success, immerse yourself in content and environments that support it. Top achievers don't rely solely on motivation. They design their environments so success becomes the default. They organize their days to minimize distractions and build routines that drive focus. They carefully choose who they spend time with, ensuring they're constantly challenged to grow. They optimize their physical workspaces to encourage creativity and efficiency. They shape their digital experience to energize and educate rather than distract. And here's the good news. You can do the same. You don't need unlimited self-control or discipline to change your life. You simply need to set up an environment where the best choices are the easiest ones to make. If you're committed to becoming your best self, take a close look at your surroundings. Remove what holds you back. Whether it's toxic people, disorganized spaces, unhealthy habits, or time-wasting content, replace them with tools, people, and routines that energize you, inspire growth, and keep you aligned with your goals. Number 5, mastering time and energy. Time is the one thing you can never get back, and energy is what determines how well you use it. Most people waste both, caught in cycles of distraction, fatigue, and inefficient effort. They say they don't have enough time, but in reality, it's not a time issue. It's a problem of priorities and energy management. The most successful individuals don't have more hours in the day. They simply manage their time and energy more effectively through deliberate routines and structure. If you want to become your best self, you must master both. Start by becoming aware of where your time is actually going. Many believe they're busy, but they're really just scattered. Hours are lost to mindless scrolling, unproductive conversations, and multitasking without meaningful outcomes. If you don't measure your time, you'll always feel like you're running out of it. The solution is to be intentional with every hour. Time is either invested in your growth or lost to distractions. The difference between average results and exceptional ones lies in how you use your hours, especially on high-impact activities that drive the most progress. Number 6, building bulletproof habits. Your life is the sum of your habits. Every result, whether it's your health, finances, relationships, or mindset, can be traced back to small daily behaviors. Yet most people chase big changes, hoping for instant success. In reality, real transformation comes from small, steady improvements. Becoming your best self isn't about working harder. It's about building the right habits that make growth automatic. Most people struggle because they rely on motivation, which isn't dependable. They also set goals that are too ambitious to maintain. They try to change everything at once, get overwhelmed, and revert to old patterns. True change comes from small, consistent habits that gain momentum over time. This is where keystone habits come in. Simple behaviors that trigger positive change in multiple areas of life. Exercise is a great example. By committing to regular workouts, you naturally start eating better, sleeping more, and feeling more confident without forcing those changes. Another keystone habit is journaling. Writing down your thoughts helps with clarity, emotional awareness, and decision-making. Waking up early is another. When you start your day with intention, you gain control over your time and set the tone for productivity. Focus on identifying your own keystone habit, the one small change that creates a ripple effect across your life, and make it your daily anchor. Most people fail at habit building because they make it too hard. They decide to work out but aim for an hour a day. Too much too soon. Or they want to read more but set the goal to finish a book in a weekend. The key is to start small. So small that it's nearly impossible to fail. This is the foundation of the 2-minute rule. Start with a version of the habit that takes 2 minutes or less. Do 5 push-ups instead of a full workout. Read 1 page. Take 1 deep breath. It's not about the intensity, it's about showing up consistently. Once the habit is formed, it naturally expands. Another powerful method is habit stacking. Linking a new habit to one you already do. If you already drink coffee every morning, use that time to read a page. If you brush your teeth at night, follow it with a quick gratitude list. By attaching a habit to an existing one, you make it easier to remember and repeat. But it's not enough to start a habit, you have to stick with it long enough for it to become part of your identity. This is where habit tracking comes in. Use a simple system to mark each day you complete your habit. Seeing a streak builds momentum, and the longer the streak, the less likely you are to break it. Missing 1 day isn't failure, but missing twice can break the pattern. The golden rule, never miss twice. Life happens, what matters is bouncing back quickly. The final key is identity. Most people build habits based on what they want to do, but real lasting change happens when habits align with who you want to be. Don't just set a goal to run, become a runner. Don't try to eat healthy. Identify as someone who values nutrition. When your actions match your self-image, habits stick. So don't just ask, what habits should I build? Ask, who am I becoming? Once that's clear, choose habits that support that identity. Keep them small, stack them, track them, and let them shape your future. Success doesn't come from one massive leap. It comes from 1,000 small wins repeated over time. Number 7. The art of execution, turning ideas into reality. Ideas alone are worthless without action. No matter how inspiring your vision or how detailed your plans, none of it matters if it stays in your head. The real difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck isn't talent or luck, it's consistent action. The world is full of well-meaning people who never follow through. They wait for the perfect time, overthink every step, and let fear hold them back. But here's the truth. Execution is what separates dreamers from doers. Most people don't fail because they lack knowledge. They fail because they overcomplicate the process. They think they need the perfect strategy before starting. This leads to analysis paralysis. They plan, research, hesitate, and never move forward. High performers operate differently. They know that imperfect action beats perfect inaction every time. They take the first step even when things aren't fully clear, trusting that clarity will come through movement. Progress comes from momentum, and momentum only happens when you take action. One of the biggest traps people fall into is relying on motivation to get things done. They wait until they feel inspired, but motivation is fleeting and inconsistent. It's influenced by your mood, your surroundings, and how much energy you have. If you only take action when you feel like it, you'll struggle to follow through. Lasting success comes from discipline, not motivation. And one of the best ways to stay consistent is to eliminate decision making. When you have to ask yourself every day whether you'll work on your goals, you create friction. But when action becomes a habit, it feels automatic. Think of it like brushing your teeth or eating. You don't question those habits. In the same way, when your goals become part of your identity and daily rhythm, you stop overthinking. You just show up. Another powerful tool for consistent execution is the 5-second rule, created by Robbins. The principle is simple. When you feel hesitation, count down from 5 and then move. Why does this work? Because hesitation leads to doubt, And the longer you wait, the more your mind will talk you out of taking action. But if you move before your brain gets in the way, you override fear and procrastination. The hardest part of any task is simply starting. Once you begin, momentum takes over and finishing becomes much easier. To improve execution, you also need to manage distractions. In today's digital world, many people don't lack willpower, they lack focus. Constant notifications and entertainment steal time and attention, making it harder to concentrate. The fix? Design an environment where taking action is the default. Turn off distractions, set specific work blocks, and train yourself to focus on one task at a time. Single tasking is far more effective than juggling multiple things at once. With deep focus, you can get more done in a few hours than most people do in a full day. Procrastination often comes from feeling overwhelmed. That's why breaking big goals into micro actions is key. Large goals, like writing a book, starting a business, or getting in shape, can feel intimidating. But if you break them into small, manageable steps, they become easier to approach. Instead of saying, I need to write a book, say, I'll write one paragraph today. Instead of I need to get fit, try, I'll do a 10-minute workout. Success is built through small wins repeated daily. Accountability also drives execution. When goals stay private, it's easy to make excuses. But when you make your goals public, track your progress, or involve someone else, you create pressure to stay consistent. This is why top performers, athletes, entrepreneurs, professionals often work with coaches, mentors, or accountability partners. They use external support systems to stay committed. Setting deadlines and being responsible for your outcomes keeps your focus sharp. Finally, execution is about cultivating a bias for action. High achievers don't overthink. They make decisions quickly and adjust as they go. They accept failure as part of the learning process, and they know mistakes don't define them. Instead, they're opportunities to grow. These individuals are willing to fail publicly, to take risks, and to keep moving forward because they understand that inaction is far more damaging than imperfect effort. Fear of failure holds back more dreams than failure itself. If you want to become your best self, you have to train yourself to act, even when it's uncomfortable. Starting today, choose action over perfection. If you have a goal, take the smallest step toward it right now. Don't wait for motivation. Don't overanalyze. Don't make excuses. The fastest way to get unstuck is to start moving. When you develop a habit of taking action, everything in your life begins to shift. You'll become more confident, more capable, and more consistent, not because everything went perfectly, but because you had the courage to start. Number 8, overcoming setbacks, turning failure into fuel. Failure is one of the greatest fears that keeps people from reaching their full potential. The fear of messing up, looking foolish, or falling short causes many to freeze before they even begin. But failure isn't something to avoid, it's something to learn from. Every successful person has failed more times than the average person has even tried. The difference lies in how they respond to those failures. High achievers don't view setbacks as final. They see them as necessary steps towards success. If you can learn to use failure as fuel instead of letting it stop you, you'll unlock a powerful form of resilience. That's what makes you unstoppable. The first step to overcoming setbacks is to shift your perspective. Many take failure personally. They think it proves they're not smart enough, talented enough, or capable enough. But failure is not a reflection of your value. It's feedback. Every failed attempt provides valuable insight. What didn't work, what needs to change, and how you can improve. The most successful people actively seek failure because they know it brings them closer to the right answer. The only real failure is quitting too early. Everything else is just part of the learning process. Many people also struggle because they're emotionally attached to specific outcomes. They define success as reaching a particular result. Anything short of that feels like a loss. But true growth doesn't come from hitting targets. It comes from learning, evolving, and taking consistent steps forward. If your only focus is results, every obstacle will feel like defeat. But if you shift your mindset and see progress as the goal, you'll never fear failure again. Instead of asking, did I win? Ask, did I learn? Did I grow? Did I show up and give it my best? If the answer is yes, then you're winning, no matter the outcome. To overcome setbacks, you must also develop emotional resilience. When things go wrong, frustration and self-doubt are common reactions. But dwelling on those emotions doesn't help you move forward. Train yourself to respond with logic, not emotion. Step back and ask, what's the lesson here? How can I improve next time? High performers aren't immune to failure. They've simply trained themselves to recover faster. They don't waste energy complaining or blaming. They reflect, adjust, and keep going. Number 9, the psychology of confidence and charisma. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. Many people believe confident individuals were just naturally born with it, but confidence is a skill. It's developed through repeated action, experience, and mindset shifts. The same goes for charisma, the ability to connect, lead, and influence others positively. If you want to reach your full potential, developing confidence and charisma is essential. How you see yourself shapes how others see you. When you carry yourself with certainty, people notice. When you doubt yourself, they sense it too. The biggest mistake people make is thinking they need to feel confident before they take action. They believe that after achieving more, gaining experience, or improving their situation, they'll finally feel ready. But confidence doesn't come first. It comes after action. The only way to become confident in anything is to do it repeatedly. The first time you try something, it feels awkward. The second time, a bit better. By the 10th or 20th time, it feels natural. Confidence comes from competence, and competence comes from consistent practice. The more you do something, the more comfortable it becomes. One of the most effective tools for building confidence is changing your self-talk. Most people have a critical inner voice, one that constantly questions their worth. Thoughts like, I'm not good enough, or I always mess things up, slowly erode self-belief. But the words you say to yourself shape your reality. If you repeat negative thoughts, your brain begins to believe them. Successful, confident people train their internal dialogue. Instead of saying, I can't do this, they say, I'm learning how to do this. Instead of, I always fail, they say, every setback makes me stronger. Your inner voice can be your greatest coach or your biggest critic. Choose wisely. Shifting your self-talk from doubt to empowerment is one of the fastest ways to build real confidence. But it's not just your words. Your body language matters too. How you stand, how you make eye contact, and how you move all send signals to your brain and to others. Studies show that standing tall, maintaining strong posture, and making intentional movements can instantly elevate your confidence. In contrast, slouching, avoiding eye contact, or shrinking your presence can reinforce feelings of insecurity for both you and those around you. If you want to feel more confident, start by adjusting your physical presence. Stand straight, lift your chin, and take up space. Walk into a room with presence, as if you belong, because you do. How you carry yourself shapes how others see you and how you see yourself. Number 10, becoming unstoppable. Becoming your best self isn't about achieving perfection. It's about constant evolution. One of the biggest misconceptions in personal growth is the idea that there's a final destination, that once you reach a certain level of success or discipline, the journey ends. But personal development is a lifelong process. The most fulfilled, successful people don't grow for a few months or even a few years. They commit to improving themselves for life. If you want to become truly unstoppable, adopt the mindset that growth never stops. The real key to lasting success is momentum. Most people begin strong but lose motivation when progress slows. They expect fast results, and when those don't come, they quit. And what they don't realize is that success builds like a snowball. At first, progress feels slow, but with consistency, the results start to compound, and breakthroughs follow. The people who achieve great things aren't the ones who never struggle. They're the ones who keep going when it's hard. They keep pushing when no one's watching, when there's no reward in sight, and when every part of them wants to stop, but they don't. Another quality of unstoppable people is adaptability. No matter how carefully you plan, life will throw challenges your way. Things won't always go as expected. If you cling to rigid plans or demand perfect outcomes, You'll get frustrated. True strength lies in flexibility. The strongest people don't resist change, they embrace it. They see challenges as opportunities, failures as feedback, and setbacks as redirections. When life shifts, they adjust and keep moving forward. Being unstoppable also means managing your emotions. Most people take action when they feel good and stop when they feel tired, discouraged, or afraid. But emotions are temporary. They fluctuate based on your environment, your energy, or your thoughts. If you let your feelings dictate your actions, you'll always be inconsistent. The most powerful individuals act despite how they feel. They've trained themselves to follow through regardless of doubt, fear, or frustration. Discipline becomes their foundation, and through discipline they gain control. Another cornerstone of being unstoppable is resilience. Life will challenge you. You will face failure, criticism, and rejection. The question isn't whether this will happen, it's how you'll respond. Will you let adversity stop you, or will you use it to grow stronger? The people who create extraordinary lives aren't the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who kept going through the hardest parts. They turned every failure into fuel. Every no pushed them closer to a breakthrough. The key to resilience is remembering pain is temporary, but quitting is permanent. Every obstacle is shaping you into a stronger, wiser version of yourself. Finally, to become truly unstoppable, you must develop unwavering self-belief. Most people wait for approval. They base their worth on what others think. But those who rise to the top don't need permission. They trust themselves. They value their instincts. They don't waste time in self-doubt because they understand belief is a choice. And when you choose to believe in yourself, everything begins to change. Opportunities appear, people pay attention, progress accelerates, confidence replaces hesitation, self-doubt has destroyed more dreams than failure ever could. So let go of doubt and decide that you are capable, worthy, and ready for more. Becoming your best self isn't a one-time event. It's a lifelong commitment. It's waking up every day and choosing to grow. It's making decisions based on your highest potential, not your current emotions. It's about building mental strength, physical resilience, and inner clarity. If you've made it to this point, you now have the tools, mindset, and knowledge to take full ownership of your future. But the tools alone aren't enough. The real question is, what will you do now? Will you let this knowledge fade, or will you take action? Will you wait for the perfect moment or create one? The decision is yours. If you commit today, 6 months or a year from now, you'll look back and realize this was the turning point. The day you stopped making excuses. The day you chose to become unstoppable. Your best self is not found, it's built. It's time to build it. No more waiting, no more hesitation, no more holding back. Step forward, take action, become who you were meant to be. If you've made it this far, it means something in you is ready to stop waiting and start building. Remember, your future isn't something you find, it's something you create through action, through discipline, through relentless belief in what's possible. So don't just let this video be another moment of inspiration. Let it be the spark that ignites real change. Subscribe for more tools, mindset shifts, and strategies to help you become the strongest version of yourself.